Hi everyone. Okay, as promised, I wanted to shoot a separate video really um, highlighting these two very special babies in my collection and just to tell you guys the story of how they came to be in my collection. So yeah, they are, the sleeping baby on the left is Melina by Andrea Arcello. And the baby on the right, and sorry about the shadows, the sun's coming through the window. The baby on the right is Emerie Mei by Andrea Arcello. And you guys might know Emerie Mei from Hello Melissa Sue's channel. She has baby Zara, who my daughter incidentally is a huge fan of and loves watching the videos and is always looking at the TV and saying, "Hey, that's me." So, anyway, but so I have named these two. I didn't since I had both of them, and they both are actually portrait sculpts of my daughter when she was a baby. I couldn't just name one of them Audrey, which is her name. So I named baby Melina. I named her Aria, and then my Emerie Mei is actually named Isla. So it's Aria and Isla, and so yeah, the story is basically I had been thinking, like, after my daughter was born, it was just the most amazing time, and I was holding her. I remember this one day, and I actually had a few reborns in my collection. I think I had 3 reborns in my collection at that time, but I had sort of put them away and hadn't really been into my reborns for a few years, and then as and then I started kind of reading the doll fan forums again and saw these silicone babies were coming out, and these full body silicones were still relatively new at the time. And I just thought, in life you don't know if you don't ask. And so I decided to email Andrea. I just really loved her babies, loved her work, and asked if she would consider doing a portrait sculpt for me. I was trying to get a price quote of, what would it be, how much would it be to get a portrait sculpt of my daughter as a baby. And I just wanted to capture that moment forever, I guess. And, yeah, so that was really the reasoning behind it. I obviously had my little daughter, but yeah, I just wanted something that would basically be like a 3D picture that, I could always remember when she was a baby. So, so she got back to me, and she gave me a price quote for if it were to be a one-of-a-kind doll, which was a lot of money. I won't go into the prices, and I'm sure the prices have changed for her as well. But then she said, well, if I made if I made this into an edition, then I could charge you less, and you would just basically pay the price. She actually charged me a little bit less than what she ended up selling the baby for in the edition. But anyway, so she said, yeah, you could just do it for a little bit less and get the baby a lot cheaper that way. And I said, and at first I thought, oh, that might be kind of weird having like 25 portrait sculpts of my daughter, potentially all over the world. But then I thought, it would actually be kind of cool too, and just to see, see the other collectors and how they interact with their babies, and so yeah, so I agreed. I said, sure, let's do it. And then and I'd sent her a bunch of pictures of my daughter sleeping as well as my daughter awake. And I said, well, I would actually prefer to have a sleeping baby because I think it's more realistic, and I just really love and cherish those moments when she would be napping or or sleeping in my arms, and I was just holding her and just feeling so relaxed. And so so Andrea basically said, I actually she actually wanted to do an open-eyed baby. And I said, yeah, it'd be great to have an open-eyed baby too, but gosh, that's 2 babies, and I don't know. And that was kind of where we came up with, she gave me a little bit of a discount on the 2 babies since I was going to be purchasing 2. And so we agreed she would basically make the twins, and she would release Emerie Mei first and then Melina second. And so Emerie Mei is, and this project, by the way, was 2.5 years in the works. It was actually about 3 years by the time um, the baby, by the time Emerie Mei was released and into production. And that by that time, my daughter was already, I think, 3 years and 3 months old at the time. So, but I'm a patient person, and I know, and I was honestly just so busy with watching over her. She's my first baby, and I was so busy watching over her. I didn't really stress too much about the time frame, and I guess I'm just kind of easygoing in general about I haven't fortunately been in a situation where I had to have a baby by a certain date. And yeah, I'm working with Melissa George on a couple of customs, and it's yeah, I have one that's on her way, and I'll do the box opening when she gets here. But that one has been in the works for a couple months now, 2 or 3 months, which is honestly nothing compared to how long it took to bring this little girl home. But yeah, anyway, I was just very happy that that she was done. And Andrea had left me a message asking, oh, well, what's your daughter's name, because she wanted to know what to name the edition. But then I know she was also anxious to get it publicized, and I think I had like a 1 day delay in actually getting back to her. And then before I knew it, it was publicized that it was going to be Emerie Mei, which I think is a super cute name for the sculpt, and I was totally fine with that. I didn't have a need that it had to be named after my daughter. And Andrea had also already previously released a cloth-bodied silicone baby named Audrey Arcello. So I knew that, for her to, release, kind of do a duplicate name wouldn't have really worked anyway. So yeah, so Emerie Mei was released. I believe this was in January of 2015. So it's been a couple years. I think that's right. So yeah, and so I had my baby. This is she is the prototype Emerie Mei, and the one that you see in the pictures on Andrea's website. It's Isla. So it's just so special, so cool. And then I checked with her on Melina. I think she had another project in the works. And then I think a year later, Melina was brought into production, and I think Andrea felt that the sleeping silicone would not be quite as popular as Emerie Mei, so she made it a smaller edition. But I absolutely adore Melina. She actually looks the most like my daughter. And maybe someday I'll show you guys the actual baby pictures, but she looks like so alike my daughter when she was sleeping at that age. Emerie Mei looks like this one particular photo of my daughter when she was a month old, but honestly my daughter was a little chunkier and chubbier than this little girl, so she does look like her for sure, but it's just this like kind of one photo when she was a month old. So yeah, so then Melina, I guess, came home. I think it was around January 2016. Has it only been a year? I guess it's been about a year. And then so you have the two babies, and they are the treasures in my collection right now. I do want to get a portrait sculpt of my son done at some point. I don't know if it'll be Andrea or potentially another artist, but I feel like I have to have that because I have these two of my daughter. It just wouldn't be fair, so that's on my, kind of bucket list or doll wish list, in terms of, new addition to my collection that I'd like to bring home someday. It doesn't have to, it may not be for quite a while, but yeah, I wanted to tell the story of these two special girls, and I know that I had been reading Doll Fan and just seeing the different mommies, bringing their babies home, and it's just so neat to have, a doll out there that was inspired by your child. So, and Audrey just absolutely adores these babies. I don't let her play with them. I've let her hold them a couple times with my supervision, and these are babies that I don't think I will really take them out. I mean, they are so realistic. They absolutely could pass for real. I think if we were out and about, probably especially Melina since she's asleep. And you know, I don't know. For me, they're just so special. I do love to cuddle them. You know, just when I'm at home, and I just love to look at them, and they're so adorable. But I do try to really keep these two pristine. I probably play with my reborns a lot more. And even Silicone Olive, I'm more, you know, likely to handle a little bit more. She's cloth body and easier to dress. These two babies are full bodies. So you can see they have little tummies, and you know, so dressing them is really, really challenging. I actually put them in these Disney princess outfits the other day, and they were these bodysuit onesies, and oh my gosh, they were so hard to get on them. I was like, I was like worried, you know, as I was kind of tugging their arms, you know, through the armhole, and I was like, you know, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna like pick these outfits for them that are so hard to wear. So so anyway, yeah, these two babies are just incredibly special. You know, they will obviously never leave my collection. You know, even if and actually after I got these two, I was so satisfied. And then we were gonna do construction on our house, so I actually had 3 reborn babies at the time, and I decided to just downsize and just I actually ended up donating those babies, which in retrospect was kind of silly. I really should have sold them. They were very nicely done reborns. But we were just in a super rush to vacate the house, and you know, we were doing an addition just to make a little bit more space for our family. So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to the story. So yeah, that's really it. So this is Aria and Isla, and shout out to Melissa Sue and her Zara. And I'm just so excited to have a YouTube channel now. So look forward to making more videos and sharing this awesome hobby with you guys. And thanks for watching, and bye.